Hello, welcome back to Fist Entertainment. Now, interesting enough, the last film I reviewed, which was Alien vs. Predator from 2004, it's a very diverse world when it comes to what people think of that one. People that are familiar with the source material will say it's a fun movie, and it's a fun time at the movies, but as far as being faithful to a source material, it is an abomination. Well, this one's even more of an abomination, in my opinion. And interesting enough, unlike Alien vs. Predator, 2008's Aliens vs. Predator Requiem is universally hated by everybody. If you like this movie, then you are one of the few people out there that do. This is one of those other times where I actually agree with society when it comes to this movie. And believe it or not, there's actually one of the films that's hated because of the video quality of the film and how the film was filmed. Just as much as it is to, it's just not hitting the mark quite right. Now, with that said, I would say that this particular film does feel much more like it belongs in the Alien and the Predator universe, because it goes back to being more of a horror film. Don't get me wrong, there are horror roots and theologies in the previous film, yes, but this one has some balls on it. Like, for example, you don't see this often. I've only seen it two other times, and I watch lots of horror films. I mean, to give you guys an idea, for the past about 7 years, I probably have sat down in various locations and watched and reviewed several hundred horror films on this channel. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of horror films. I've only seen 3 horror films that are ballsy enough to kill a child on screen. That would be The Blob, in which for 1988, The Blob, which I actually just watched recently for the first time from beginning to end, and I will actually be reviewing that at some point before the end of October. 2018's Halloween. And probably the most controversial one of them is this one. They actually have a child get infestated by one of those eggs, and we do actually see a xenomorph basically pop out of his ribcage, and he's dead. So this film actually goes to that dark area. It also goes back to a hard R rating, unlike the last film, which was PG-13. And the unrated version of the film didn't really make much of a difference, really. Alright, well, the plot of the film. After a horrifying Pred-Alien crash lands near a small Colorado town, killing everyone it encounters and producing countless alien offspring, a lone predator arrives to clean up the infestation. Soon, it's an all-out brutal battle to the death, with no rules, no mercy, and maximum mayhem. Alright, so as you can see, they at least get is a lone predator going up against these aliens. The last time I checked, it was not called Aliens versus Predators. It's called Aliens versus Predator, and it's called that for a reason. Because in these comic books and in these video games is one predator. Not a bunch of predators, is one predator. So you got that right. And it does pick up right after the previous film. So it exists in the same timeline and all that. So still definitely not right in terms of being faithful to the source material of the Aliens vs. Predator story taking place between Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. But this one at least goes back to his horrific routes, and definitely has much more of a carnage to it. But just because it goes back to being an R-rated movie and not being PG-13. And you know what? Something I always will try to keep my mouth shut about, but the fact that there's a PG-13 Alien vs. Predator film just shows you that parents do not police and protect their young children from inappropriate material. I mean, after all, they did make a PG-13 Alien vs. Predator film. Neither the Alien franchise or the Predator franchise has ever been aimed towards children of any kind, for any reason at all. So I find that kind of one of the root causes about why I have to press a button before I post a video onto the channel saying if it's made for children or not. It's because the government's gotten so screwed up over the past 10 years that now it's my job to basically be a media parent to all children in the world instead of their own parents doing it. I'm sorry, it had to be said, and I just, in the heat of the moment, I acknowledge the fact that Alien vs. Predator is PG-13, and then that's why it's PG-13 is because parents allowed their children, the little ones, to watch rated R movies. But rules are rules, and I will follow them, and I will always click on the right button and always do the right thing. But that's why stuff like that happens, and it's definitely not people like me, content creators' fault. Or people that watch scary movies are adult media. It's definitely not our fault. Now, let's go on to the quality. Like the last one, this actually, unlike the last one, this one came out when Blu-ray existed. So this is not a recreated movie in Blu-ray format. Now, Alien vs. Predator was. This one is not, because this actually came out around the time that Blu-ray existed. And of course, it has an unrated cut and the R-rated cut of the film. The unrated cut's not much different from an R-rated version, but is the cut I am reviewing. The quality. This is a very, very bad example about how to light a movie. Even during the day, let's put it this way: during the day shots in the film are lit the way that nighttime shots should be lit. And when you have dark at night sequences in the film, you have to do this a lot because you can't see what's going on because the film is so dark that you can't make out things. That's literally like I say about the picture quality. Is a very bad, poor quality. It is a 1080 Full HD Blu-ray version of the film, and it's not really the resolution and definitions technology's fault for it looking the way it does. It was just simply filmed that way. They filmed it in a way to where whenever there's anything dark going on in the film, it's very hard to make out what's going on because it's just so dark. The audio quality, on the other hand, I cannot say anything bad about. It's reference quality just like the previous one. I would say it might be even more effect heavy this time around than it was on the previous one, and it's the same sound technology. You have DTS HD MA 5.1 sound presentation. You have a lot going on, a lot of effects flying around. So yeah, it's pretty reference quality audio experience. But video technology wise, it's a very poor example about how not to make a Blu-ray and about how not to film a film if you're going to film the dark scenes. Well, I would say that it's a little better than Alien vs. Predator in some ways, but I would say ultimately at the end of the day, if I had to choose, and I don't like these movies at all, but if I had to choose one of these two movies, it would probably be that one. It's a more interesting story. It may not be true to the source material, but because this is not true to the source material, this one obviously isn't either. So there you have it. I have reviewed the Alien vs. Predator films. I hope you enjoyed my my opinion on these films. If for people that are fans of these films, and people that are fans of the Predator, which I might add, it has a lot of views. Interesting. That's okay with me. Just like it's okay to respect my opinion, I will respect yours. And that's all there's to say about Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. Haven't seen the film, and are not as judgmental about being faithful to the source material as I am. It's a fun film. Check it out, and I'll see you on the next one.